It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. It's the 2022 pre-holiday edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we have conversations about local business with business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, some civic organizations, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We talk about how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their business might be going in the future. You'll hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We are broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. How you doing there, Steve? Happy weekend.
Happy weekend, Tom. How about this fall? How about this weather?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Go, right?
Yeah. What was it? Was it 3 or so Thanksgivings ago where it was like 80 degrees?
Yes.
It was either 2 or 3, right?
It was something like that.
Yeah. I remember my uncle had just got a motorcycle, and he visited us up at the house on the motorcycle on Thanksgiving Day. You know,
No. So Thanksgiving Day morning, did you have a tradition that wasn't family and turkey? Did you have something you did?
We didn't have a lot of traditions. It was a lot of yelling. I come from a full Italian family, you know. It was yelling and screaming.
We are non-Italian,
Yes.
So when we yelled, we meant it. But we used to always play football. We would call it the Turkey Bowl, you know, as young adolescents and into our teen years.
And you did that with friends, not with your family.
Correct.
Okay,
and we would go down to North Syracuse Heritage Park.
Yeah, I know just where that is.
A whole bunch of guys would meet, and we had that was there'd always be a football game. Pickup game. And it was always great. Someone would always get hurt. You know, it was perfect. It was the typical, but it was wonderful. Good times. Good
used
days.
to love playing football like that. My son got to doing that a little bit over the summer, but that, you know, our generation, we used to do that all the time, didn't we?
All the time. And
that was like a thing.
I was talking to Nate. Nate's people know my son who's in the Air Force. He's in Idaho now. Talked to him a few nights ago. He's like, "Yep, I was there," and they were short a guy, and they said, "Come on in," and they play flag football at the base.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he had a blast.
That's wonderful.
I was free. I was safety, so you get to run. You know, that's the awesome position. He's quick, so he had a great time. So it continues.
Good. Well, look, folks, we've got a great show for you today here on The Local Show. Stick around. We'll have some conversations with Dan Palladino, owner of Heritage Hill Brew House. Megan Query stops by. She's a nurse recruiter at the Syracuse VA Medical Center. And then Marissa Vardick is a board-certified nurse and board-certified in family medicine at OnCare Family Health. We'll get her take on healthcare. And then Charlie Van Patten puts us to sleep. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Lori, that didn't come out right, did it?
Didn't come out right at all.
Lori Simpson is the Director of Development at Hospice of Central New York. And then Dr. Joseph Naz, owner of Foot Specialists of CNY. Jeff Steigerwald is the owner of Lee's and Steigerwald. We'll talk meats and deli stuff with him. Dan Giamartino is the co-owner of Tully's Restaurant, Copper Top Tavern, and Good Buddies Pub. We'll round out things with a conversation.
Tom, did you bring your medical files? Because there's a lot of this could be stand to. We're going to go about Tom's medical stuff today.
Oh, yeah. I'll be asking lots of questions. Try and get all that free knowledge right there. And one of my questions is, you know, who do you trust these days, right? You know, that's a big thing.
Dan Palladino.
That's I trust Dan as he's sliding a beer over to me.
I'll take your pain away.
Dan Palladino, owner of Heritage Hill Brew House. If you haven't been up there, you haven't been up there. You've got to see what's going on. How you doing there, Dan?
Doing great.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous weekend.
Yeah. That's have you had throngs of people?
Yeah, the entire fall. I don't know why, but
we know why. It's because you're on the local show.
I'm telling you, I mean, you go through these periods where you could have a rainy period, whatever. This fall has been gorgeous. The leaves held on for the longest time, and then this week, I mean, 70s in November. It's just absolutely
beautiful.
Crazy.
Yeah. Heritage Hill. Dan, tell us where it is and how long you've been in the business. You know, how long has the farm been around, and what your connection to it is.
Yeah, the very top of the hill in Pompey. So we're right up on Sweet Road. Not too far away, but like I always say, it's, far enough away to escape, but close enough to call home, and it's beautiful views up there from our spot. We're up 1,700 feet, so you can see 8 counties across New York State. You see all the lakes. It's just really pretty. It's the brew house and restaurant, smokehouse sits right in the middle of our family farm. It's a long part of our history, but the brew house itself I've had for 4 years now. So,
I see. Okay. Yeah. And have you worked on that local show beer, the custom, or was that just lip service?
And did you bring some for us? Tom, okay.
He's never going to do that. We're not famous.
Keep having me on the show. Your ratings are
Yeah, I'd like to get that custom beer. Yeah, but you had a couple of beers that I enjoyed, and I think that everyone would enjoy them up there. How many different beers do you have?
We got 18 different beers. We also have a couple different seltzers that we make, and then we have a full bar of New York State, liquors, wines, cider. So we have something for everybody. Non-alcoholic drinks as well, because we really attract everybody across the board, and a lot of people come for our barbecue. It's just really delicious barbecue. And
are you to the point now where you can book holiday parties and things like that?
Yeah, and that's our big focus right now. Actually, this Saturday we're closed for a wedding. Somebody bought out the entire facility for a wedding.
No kidding. That was after you told me you're not going to do weddings.
I know, but I was like, well, November 1st the weather turns, it's really cold. If they want to buy it for a wedding, go ahead. And then it's 73 degrees. I'm like, So I'm sure I'll have to be standing.
That's what Sunday's for.
Yeah, so Sunday's going to be a big day, live music we got out there still. So we're still able to have live music outside. It's been really great. But yeah, we're booking. We have a Friday holiday party special for corporations. We have a number of facilities that we can book, from our little cafe that seats 30 to 40 people to our event barn with 150 people, to buying out the whole brew house and having your holiday party there. And those special rates are going right through January and everything. So
and Jeff Steigerwald's coming up on the show a little bit now. Jeff's up there a lot with Steigerwald's, right?
Yeah. Every Wednesday we do a pitch and cornhole tournament, and Jeff brings a buffet of food from Lee and Steigerwald's. He makes really great stuff. I'm able to give my staff the day off. We're closed, so just Jeff and I do that. It's a lot of fun. We like to do a lot of things together. He's a great guy, great family. So we partner with each other as much as possible. And so just a lot of great events. And then we've already booked Santa and Mrs. Claus for two Sundays in December, so the kids can come up. And then every Sunday in December, I've got horse-drawn sleigh rides booked, and I'm going to start selling tickets shortly for those as well. Yeah. So winter, it's just another reason to come up. We have a sledding hill for the kids, snow dependent.
Sure.
We do sleigh rides. If there's no snow, they're a wagon ride, and still a lot of fun on the weekends.
Do you change the menu up at all? Is there like some seasonal favorites that you would have in the winter?
I'm very comfortable with our menu as it is. So we switch a couple. So we switch from our chicken salad to we had our chili back on the menu, and of course you're Central New York, so we do fish fry, broiled fish, and clam chowder on Fridays. We keep our smoked prime rib on Sundays, and we add chili
smoked
back to
prime rib
really
on
good.
Sundays. I just found a reason, another reason, like I needed, because I've had the smoked
until
brisket.
Gone. Yeah,
the brisket is amazing.
Yeah.
Smoked prime. I missed that.
2 whole roasts, and then when they're gone, they're gone. Starting at 2:00, and very
starting
popular.
at 2.
Yep, starting at 2.
All right.
So right, fresh off the smoker.
Now, Dan, you had a bunch of events over there over the summer, and what can we expect in the spring and next summer? Can you kind of recap, or not recap, but kind of tell us what's going to happen?
Yeah, so
really quickly.
Really quick. Our Empire Farm Days is going to be back at the end of July, beginning of August. We're going to have a rodeo, the tractor pulls. Rodeo is going to be new this year. We've never had one before.
Hippie Fest?
Hippie Fest will be back in July.
Yes.
And then we're doing our corporate clam bakes and our fun stuff and our weekend live music and stuff. But really focusing on booking these nice facilities that we've built up outside for events and private events and corporate events.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like a wonderful time, as usual, up at Heritage Hill Brew House, heritagehillbrewery.com, Heritage Hill steelbrewery.com. That's Dan Palladino right there. And you got the family working with you too, so you can,
absolutely,
people can come up and say hello is my point.
Yeah, come up and say hello. Say hello to all the animals. The animals are out year round to come visit. So
great.
Absolutely.
All right, and if you need a rodeo clown, you're sitting right next to one over there. That's perfect. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk with Megan Query. She's a nurse recruiter at the Syracuse VA Medical Center right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Thanks for joining us, folks. You found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM and your digital devices. We're also recording for YouTube, meaning that Zoe Advertising has a YouTube channel.
That's true. And Tom, I have something you don't know.
What's that?
He always looks scared when I say it. He's like, what's he going to say? Yes. We've been collecting new YouTube subscribers.
Have you?
Okay, we have. Yes, we have. So now, in the other end of the building, Brad and the team, we've decided we have the new coffee cups. Tom, you have a coffee cup there.
Yes, I was using that today.
So if you go on to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and then just put in the comments, hey, I like and subscribe to The Local Show.
Oh, I see. Then you get a coffee cup.
We're going to give one coffee cup away a week.
Okay, just one.
Right, just one.
Okay.
Because we're cheap.
Right.
but they're nice cups.
Yes.
So
you're not going to stuff a $100 bill in there?
No. So we'll announce the winner. If it's a screen name, we'll figure out who you are somewhere or another. But so we're going to give that a whirl. So go on. So like the page,
yes.
Hit the notification, and then you'll be able to see all this in a
right.
You
can subscribe.
And you might subscribe. Yeah. That's what I think. Yes. I sort of said, Tom.
That's what you want.
So, yes,
okay.
And Gettys. You asked me about Gettys, right?
Yes, Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. I did.
Yeah, they answer the phone.
Over there, yeah, sure.
I hate it when you call, hit one for this, hit two for this, hit three for this.
Yeah,
you're like,
you get lost in that world.
Person. They answer, Gettys Federal Savings, and they can help you. If you want to borrow off your home, put that pool in, Tom.
Yeah,
Probably
sure.
not this time of year. Put rubber stone in the basement. Whatever you want to do to fix your house.
Have a big holiday party.
Have a holiday party. Maybe buy cameras for your children, Tom.
Yeah, so of course.
So get it at Gettys. They're right here in town. They know your name. Gettys Federal Savings and Loan.com, Tom.
All right. It's our pleasure right now to speak with Megan Query. She is a nurse recruiter at the Syracuse VA Medical Center. How are you doing, Megan?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. It's great to have you back. We had you on before, and I'm sure that people don't remember because they don't even remember my name, let alone Steve's. So tell us, what is your background, Megan?
So I have been at the VA for almost 8 years. I am the nurse recruiter for the hospital, and prior to that, I was a floor nurse at the hospital. So most of my career has been spent at the VA, so in different roles.
Do you have a particular expertise as a nurse, or do you have to kind of do everything in nursing?
So I personally have a master's degree, but you don't have to have a master's degree by any means to come work at the VA. So as long as you have your 2-year degree as an RN and license, we'd love to talk to you. Gotcha.
How many beds are at the VA?
So we are less than 100 beds. We have acute care, we have an emergency department, and we have a long-term care unit, spinal cord injury unit. So the bed allocation is a little different than what you would see in a bigger hospital, but active acute care beds is less than 100. So it's a nice small hospital.
Right. So it's small enough to where you can get to know the patients, get Absolutely. To work with your coworkers a little more cohesively, maybe.
Yep.
And people know your name. So if I'm a nurse and I'm just graduating, why the VA? Why would I go there rather than some other local hospitals?
Yep. So the VA, the culture at the VA is something that you'll never, ever see anywhere else. And I can tell you firsthand, serving the veterans is the best thing and the best experience you'll ever have as a nurse. It's just a rewarding and just once in a lifetime opportunity that you'll only feel at the VA when you walk through those doors. When you walk in, people are warm and welcoming and just veterans are saying hi and, how are you today? And just, they could be having the worst day, but they're always just so wonderful. And the staff is the same way.
So the culture is maybe different than some of the larger facilities, is that fair?
It is. It's very, very warm, very welcoming. Like I said, I'm wandering around sometimes and maybe not look like I know where I'm going, and a veteran will be like, "You okay?" Yeah, just forgot where I was going.
That's nice.
So they might not know where they're going, but they're the first to help. So. And
you probably have generations of service people, right?
We do. So, I've taken care of, veterans that are 18, 19. The other day I was working the flu shot clinic, and I gave a veteran that was 105 his flu shot. So,
no kidding, 105.
Yeah. Yep, he popped right up. I said, "How are you today?" And he said, "Honey, I got out of bed and I hit the floor walking, so I'm good."
and I love the fact he called you honey, and you were like, "You can't use that word. Yeah. That's not appropriate." And there wasn't anything meant that was endearing.
Yeah.
It was very endearing. Yes.
I think that's awesome.
That's wonderful. So, what do veterans come up for? Obviously, if you're in the hospital, you have an ailment of some sort. But what do you see the most of up at the VA?
So it's a wide variety because we are a full service hospital. So we have, primary care there. We have an emergency department. We have obviously acute care, floors and ICU. So it's really wide ranging. Mm-hmm. There really isn't one
particular thing. Talk to us about primary care.
Sure. So primary care, we have multiple teamlets that see, patients, and that's for all primary care services. It could be something as simple as, "Hey, I need my flu shot today," or, "Hey, I'm not, quite feeling right today." Yeah. So, and then, from there, we see primary care visits turn into, emergency surgeries and, and acute care stays. So It really just is, kind of dependent on the situation.
So if someone was a nurse, mm-hmm. and maybe they weren't feeling the love from where they're at. How's that? Not everywhere is a fit for everybody.
True. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Tom still doesn't fit.
Okay. Yes, I don't anywhere.
But not everywhere. So, and they said, well, I could look at the VA. Who are you looking for? Describe the ideal candidate.
So the ideal candidate to me is someone that has compassion, someone that, is excited to get up and come to work every day and to take care of our veterans. Obviously having a New York State license, or really with the VA, you can have a license in any state. We recognize any of the United States territories. But, somebody that just is compassionate, somebody that, wants to give back, and, somebody that's dedicated to the cause for, the VA. And at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to care for the veteran. So
are they federal employees?
Yes.
So that's kind of a big deal, Tom.
Yeah, that's different, right?
Yep.
That's a big deal.
That's huge. So as a federal employee, you have full federal benefits, which is something that other, area hospitals can't offer. So
yeah. What's the breakdown between men and women that come to the hospital? Are there a lot of female veterans?
So that number is increasing over the last 10 to 15 years. That number's gone from about 1% to about 15% women. So generally, we do see more men. It's about 85% to 15%, but that number is growing as more women enlist. So
if someone wanted to have a conversation with you mm-hmm. about maybe being employed there, how does that happen? What's the best way they can do that?
So the best way that they can do that is to call our main number, which is 315-425-4400, and just ask to talk to me. My name's Megan Query. I am the only nursing recruiter. So if you can't remember my name, just ask for the nurse recruiter.
Wow. So the phone number.
Yes.
Write this down if this is you. It's 425-4400, 425-4400. Tom, that's area code 315.
It's in the big area code?
That's the big one, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was an inside joke. And, and they just can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Not an inquisition.
Oh, I didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nope, it's just a conversation. It's just a simple chat, just kind of like what we're doing here.
Yeah. Does the VA cover families too of veterans?
We don't.
Okay, that's not the way that works. Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's Megan Query right there, nurse recruiter for the Syracuse VA Medical Center, and you do a wonderful job up there. You know, people talk about you all over. I don't know if you know that, but and about the VA, the care is just unprecedented. So, folks, it's va.gov, va.gov if you want to check out the website. You have a great rest of the day, okay, Megan?
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Marissa Vardick. She is a nurse practitioner, board certified nurse, and board certified in family medicine at OnCare Family Health. We'll talk with her next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And on your digital devices, you can go to the Zoe Advertising YouTube page and you can see a video. So we pull back the curtain. You can see the studios and Steve and me and the guests and everything. The way it happens, right, Steve?
It's there. And we mentioned a few sets ago, don't forget to like and subscribe. We got put a comment in the comments. We're going to be giving away some Local Show coffee cups. Tom, show them the cup. You have one.
Yes, I have one.
There's the cup.
There's
the cup. There's the cup.
Okay.
And
there
we're going to pick a winner every week, and we appreciate y'all listening.
There's a YouTuber, very famous YouTuber now, named Mr. Beast. And what Mr. Beast would do is he'd give out credit cards for $1 million. But you only have like 1 minute to spend it all. It was a thing. And he was famous for giving away all that money and stuff. So we're not quite up to Mr. Beast standards in terms of giving. So we're starting with mugs instead of millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. Right now it's our pleasure to speak with Marissa Vardick. She is a nurse practitioner, board certified nurse, and board certified in family medicine at OnCare Family Health. How are you, Marissa?
Great. How are you today?
Very good. Very good. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you do.
Yeah, so I own a primary care right in Cicero, New York, in front of CNS High School.
Okay.
Right on Route 31.
That's my stomping ground. I'm over in the pastures. I'll drive by you all the time.
And I went to Cicero when it was Cicero.
Yeah.
Shows how old I am. So
That's great. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So we opened right in March. I have been a nurse practitioner for several years before that as a hospitalist and also covering nursing homes. So through the pandemic, which was tough. And then prior to that, in family practice as well. So, and then prior to that, even as an RN in ICUs throughout most of Central New York. So, but we are family practicing ages 5 and up. We opened in March. We are accepting new patients, and I think primary care has become quite a bit of a shortage for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. And then that really kind of reared its ugly head through the pandemic, too, when we saw our hospitals overrun and, patients couldn't get not only preventative care, but even acute care. So that's when we, decided.
So if someone needs a primary care physician, Tom, everyone needs a primary care physician.
Well, sure. Yeah.
That's what you represent in that space.
Yes.
Okay, so someone says, I need a primary care physician. Do they have to wait 4 months for an appointment?
No.
How does it work? What are the real? Because I hear that you sign up and then you have to wait, and I know I had that experience before. So what's the?
So that is the current problem, even in not just this area, not just the state, even in other states too. Primary care is hard to come by. They're very overwhelmed, and it does take months to get in as a new patient, and even as an established patient. It's very rare that they'll see you on the same day for a sick visit. So people are using urgent cares in the ER, and then we have the shortages and problems we have. Right now, we are probably booking out maybe 3 weeks for new patients. But if you're established, my whole practice is really founded on, patient care, when you need it. Okay, so if you're established in our practice, and my staff all know this, my nurses all know this, and you call in and you're sick, you want to be seen today. You don't want to be seen next week.
Wow, that's true.
You know, we always strive to fit you in on the same day, you know, depending on the emergency. If you can't do today and next day, you know, if it can wait, yes. But we always strive for that.
Interesting. You look like a very young lady. But yet you speak as if you've been in the business for a long time. How many years has it been for you?
About 10.
Right. Gee, that's fantastic. Now, I have to ask you, why not go all the way for the MD?
Well, I think, you know, when I first started, I really wanted to spend more time with my hands on the patient and really caring for them and their families as an entirety. So that's why I went into nursing, and that's what I, you know, really enjoyed doing, is taking care of people. And, even as a primary care provider and as a nurse practitioner, you know, it's a lot of listening to the patient and a lot of understanding their whole entire family and their situation and their environment. So you can get a lot done by just doing that. You know, it's not just prescriptions and, you know, quick in and out type deal.
For years, I went to a nurse practitioner. This goes back a few years, and he would spend so much more time with me than the primary doctor, whatever, of that practice.
Right,
and at first, I was like, "Can I see the doctor?" I felt like I was missing something.
So some people do. That's why I asked the question.
But then as time went on, I'm like, okay, this guy was, certainly as bright as the doctor. Asked the right questions, and it got done, and I didn't have to wait 50 years to go, you know.
Sure. So let's talk turkey. What would people not get? Is there anything that they would be missing from seeing you as opposed to seeing a doctor? Like, you know, what would be the benefits or the non-benefits?
No, so nurse practitioners and doctors work closely as a team all the time. It's interdisciplinary, but basically in primary care, I think a majority of people would agree that you're really probably not seeing the doctor.
Most of the time, not.
We all work together as a team, but, you know, in New York State, nurse practitioners have full authority to practice medicine.
Yeah, and at the urgent care centers, those are nurse practitioners most of the time, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
And they've been great. I mean, anytime I've had to go, they've been fine. But I would rather go to someone I feel like I know, they have my records.
Yeah.
They're not sending for it. They have a relationship with them. Because I've had to go to urgent care for certain things, like getting fish hooks.
Stupid things. Yeah.
Do you help people?
Yeah. Do you do stupid?
Hey, life is life. Life happens. It's real life. So, we're here to help.
So just imagine someone got a fish hook in their finger or hand. Would you be able to help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Just curious. I know someone that's happened to 5 times in his life.
And let's talk a little bit more. This is a great conversation because, you know, I have said to the wife several times that I'm going to leave my doctor. There's no doubt. And I've been with him for 30 years. I'm 58 years old, and, you know, I've been with him for a long time. But I feel that I don't get good care. I can't talk to him. He rushes me out of the office really quick. He's always busy, and it always seems like he's pushing, you know, the drugs and the shots and the this and the that. I guess, how are you handling the fact that people, since COVID-19 came out, they're a little distrustful of doctors?
Super.
Yeah.
Wow, great question.
You feel that?
Yeah, and I feel it every day. Patients come all the time and they're not happy. They're switching primaries. They feel like they've been rushed. They feel like they're not really listened to. And most of the time their problems really aren't that challenging. Some are, yes, but
you haven't met Tom.
They just haven't had the opportunity to kind of, you know,
vent
get everything out. And they come and they're frustrated and upset. But after the first visit or so, it seems to be just fine. But the biggest thing, you know, if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, you know, high cholesterol, or, you should be managed by a primary care provider, and you should be seeing them regularly.
Sure.
It shouldn't just be a yearly physical or an urgent care sick visit once or twice a year. Those conditions need to be managed. So, yeah, definitely.
So you've seen a difference in people's attitudes since coronavirus and pandemic.
For sure, yeah.
Why do you think it is?
Well, I think it became very political, and I think people who are not in the medical field got involved with giving their opinions on what's what's true and what's not true. And so I think people started researching themselves. And, Dr. Google is not, he's not a great practitioner. So,
I'll give you that.
But people still seem to trust Dr. Google quite a bit. So it's really about establishing a relationship with your patient. And that's what we're about. Family practice, back in the day when you brought your kid in and your kid was sick, Johnny was sick, and mom, in the corner was coughing and hacking herself. The doc looked at mom and said, "Hey, mom, you're sick too, aren't you? Let's get you taken care of too." That's what this is about. Bringing back family practice the way it should be, managing everybody in the entire family.
So if someone wanted to have a conversation, 698-4888, 698-4888, and they could have a conversation and see what the process is at oncarefamilyhealth.com. oncarefamilyhealth.com. No hyphens or anything, just write it out.
Just right out there.
Very good. Well, I'll probably be coming over to talk with you. I'm right around the corner.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then I'll be coming every day.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Yeah.
We're happy to have you.
You say that now.
Marissa Vartak, right there. Board certified nurse and board certified in family medicine.
Nurse practitioner.
Nurse practitioner, yes. At OnCare Family Health. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. We're going to talk with Charlie Van Patten coming up next. We know that sleep is important, and he's the owner of Mattress Makers. He'll be right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again, and that means you are too. Welcome to The Local Show. We do appreciate you carving out a little time for Steve and I before you carve out your turkey. Can you believe Thanksgiving's just around the corner?
I know, and you can buy a turkey for about $200.
No, they're still relatively cheap.
They're like the fresh ones are like $6 a pound.
Oh yeah, well,
Tom, I know you don't
fresh.
do math, but a fresh turkey, that's $120 for a 20-pound turkey.
You come out Cicero way, go down Route 31, and if you jerk the wheel to the right, you can hit one of those turkeys. Yeah, one of the big old turkey vulture thingies.
Not that, Tom, people don't eat a turkey vulture.
They don't?
Eat turkey.
Oh, golly.
You can have a turkey vulture for less than $6 a pound.
But I thought I saw some cheaper ones over to Price Chopper.
Well, you can get the frozen,
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah, you gotta look at it. It's not made out of turkey. It's like spurky. It's something else. It's not real turkey.
A combination of spam and turkey.
Right, spurky.
Oh, that's fun stuff right there. Okay, speaking of fun, we have Charlie Van Patten with us. He's the owner of Mattress Makers, mattressmakerssyracuse.com. How are you doing there, Charlie?
Very good, gentlemen. How about you?
Very good. Good. So let people know, because, not everybody sticks with us every week. We get new audience, believe it or not.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah. Well, we'll get 200 people leave and maybe 3 or 4 come back.
Oh, the numbers are amazing. We're going to have at least 10,000 people listening to you this weekend, Tom. I don't know why, but they do.
It could be upwards of 20, to be honest with you,
true.
with the stream and everything.
With everything, that's fair.
So, anywho, tell people who you are and how long you've been in this business.
Well, we're a local manufacturer of mattresses since 1915. We have gone through a couple cycles. We've always sold direct. We've always sold competition. Mm-hmm. And there have been some years where we actually did wholesale, and big volume wholesale, like, hundreds and hundreds of name brand beds.
Right.
Places like Sears and Montgomery Wards we serviced, Hyatt Regency, Marriott. We've done them all.
Yeah.
We really know what we're doing because, you think, well, it's just a local mattress manufacturer. What can they really know? We know quite a bit, actually. And the other day, a guy said, well, how can you afford to compete? Well, it's very easy because we've been in the game. Mm-hmm. We know the game. We have the relationships, and I still have the pricing structures from when I was making national brands. So, for example, we source all of our materials locally.
Right.
When I say locally, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we have a tremendous freight advantage. National companies are freight is through the roof.
Crazy. Yeah, right. If you have to come from California or
we
something,
shipped
right?
some boxes to Nate Air Force out in Idaho.
Yes.
Holy smokes. I could have got an airplane ticket cheaper than that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly. I'll give you a quick example. We get our cotton from Little Falls. I'll drive the truck home one night, swing by Little Falls, pick up the cotton. Next morning, I'll bring it in. What's my cost?
Yeah, right.
This is the way we operate.
They make cotton in Little Falls?
Yeah, they garnet organic cotton in Little Falls. We've been dealing with the company for 100 years.
Okay.
And actually,
I didn't know that.
There's a company in California that buys their cotton from them because it's the best you can get.
No kidding. Is it made by spiders or do they grow it? What kind of?
They process it.
Yeah.
So Charlie, someone might say, and you went there a little bit, how can a local mattress company make something as good as a famous
national
brand?
brand,
A brand
yeah,
that I
yeah.
always hear. And what I heard you say is, well, actually, we used to make them for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, you're sourcing your stuff locally, but really, isn't the key that they can walk into the factory, go, they make it right there, I buy it right here, and you take out the 15 people in the middle?
Absolutely. That is a bigger factor than people realize.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a manufacturer with the overhead, it's just unbelievable.
Sure.
And then they have a rep that sells to the store. They've got to truck it to the store. The store has to take a markup. The store has to have a salesman. So you've got 2 salesmen, national advertising, double trucking. Subtract all that. We got a tremendous advantage, and it's the same sources of raw
But
material.
people do they believe it's the same? Tom, do you think, when you think about it, you think of national brand, do you feel it's the same? Do people go, yeah, but I want to go with a better one? Because, do they feel, because I know you do like organic stuff too.
Oh, tremendous amount of organic stuff. When you say you want to go with a better one, why don't you buy one of those national brands? Because number one, they're one-sided. Ours are two-sided, twice the life.
Remember flipping the bed when you were, did you?
I do. We used to do that all the time, especially because I wet the bed.
Well, plus, the national brands are playing games. It's my old thing where you save $1 and you make $4,000 a day. You're saving $1 million a year.
Yeah, right.
And the latest thing they're doing is taking an inch of padding out of the mattress by changing the spring unit from 8 to 9 inches. So I said to the manufacturer, how are you giving them a 9-inch spring for the same price as an 8-inch spring?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, how they did it? Take a guess.
They
stretched the coil.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, right. Of course, yeah.
Well, it's
no more steel.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a pound of coffee at Wegmans isn't a pound, though, right? It's like
Right.
14.
Well, yeah, and the cereal boxes are smaller,
They're
everything,
changing
yeah.
the things.
I guess you can relate to the grocery store, right?
Right, yeah.
You're not getting what you used to get, and you're paying more money for it.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So what else is going on? Are you doing any custom mattresses?
Yeah, we just did an antique bed, a beautiful bed, and it was 46 and a half inches wide and 72 inches long. And the girl she bought an organic latex with a topper and a special foundation, and we got it right to the height. She says, that's perfect, because on a headboard on an antique bed, there's certain spots where it's built for the height of the bed. So the mattress should end here, and the rest of it you see. And oh man, she was so happy she gave the drivers a $40 tip.
Well, when you pay half for the mattress, you can do that.
You can do that, right. About that organic stuff, is that just hype, or are organic mattresses really good for people?
If you're buying on the internet, be careful. I get mattresses back, I tear them down, I check them out, and I got this one back. It's one of the top-rated mattresses, the top 10 mattresses on the phony internet. Obama made a statement that he didn't realize what he was saying the other night on his political campaign. He says, don't trust that internet.
Yeah, right.
You heard
I heard that. I heard that
on the internet.
Yeah. No, he said that. He goes, don't believe everything you hear on the internet, or read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know of 2 companies on the internet that stonewall. In other words, they got these tremendous guarantees, warranties, we'll take care of you, you can send it back, and we'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
If you ever bought something and you got a problem, and you just can't get an answer, and you keep going for week after week, and you finally say, screw it, right?
Right, I'll just keep it, yeah.
That's what their theory is. They have a 6-month window where they try and get rid of people by stonewalling them.
So right now, the factory on Bridge Street.
Yes.
Bridge Street, and I always say across from Uncle Sam's, Tom. But if you don't know where that is, it's right near Erie Boulevard. People can walk in and actually watch you make the mattress, right? So
Definitely.
They're right there,
Right
and
there.
And they can order custom ones, or do you have them off the shelf, or is it both?
Either way. You got standard mattresses, or we got custom mattresses.
What's the delivery time? If I came in and saw something I liked and maybe you had to make it, how long does it take from time of purchase?
Well, here's the deal. There's a lot of preparation. We may assemble it relatively quick, but we've got to bring in the raw materials. We got to quilt them. We got to cut them. We got to sew them. We got to get the units ready. We got to get the material ready. So the final assembly can be a couple hours, but there can be 10, 15 hours prep to get to that spot. So we don't like to say we can make it quick.
So custom mattresses take a little bit if they need that, but you have them on hand too, right, Tom?
Yeah. A few days. That's good. All right, Charlie Van Patten right there, owner of Mattress Makers. Always a pleasure. You have a great rest of the day, sir.
You too.
All right. Coming up next, hour number 2 of the local show, we'll have conversations with Lori Simpson. She's the Director of Development at Hospice of Central New York and the Finger Lakes. Dr. Joseph Naz, owner of Foot Specialists of CNY. Jeff Steigerwald stops by, owner of Lee's and Steigerwald. And then Dan Giamartino is the co-owner of Tully's Restaurant, Coppertop Tavern, and Good Buddies Pub. All in hour number 2. Stick around. It starts soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for some engaging conversations and interviews with Lori Simpson, the Director of Development at Hospice of Central New York, and the Finger Lakes. Dr. Joseph Naz will talk about feet. He's the owner of Foot Specialists of CNY. And then Jeff Steigerwald, owner of Lee's and Steigerwald, will come by for a conversation on the holidays and what you can get over there for meats and cold cuts. And then Dan Giamartino, co-owner of Tully's Restaurant, Coppertop Tavern, and Good Buddies Pub. He'll be by and maybe he'll bring samples.
Did you see that, Tom? Did you see what that is? You know what that is? That's actually, after Lori, it's feet, food, and fun.
Feet,
all lined up there with this.
Feet, food, and fun.
There we go.
That's wonderful. Did you know that we're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios?
Are we?
Yes,
That's amazing.
we are there. And some people might say, well, what do they look like? and we could tell them, go to our YouTube channel now.
That's right. Proving that we have faces for radio.
Yes. Faces and bodies for radio.
So, yep, that's right. Go to YouTube. Sign in and then like and subscribe and put a comment in the comments, and we're going to give away one of these fine coffee cups, Tom. These fine coffee cups.
They are fine.
And every week, I think for a while, we're going to do that. So sign in and join the fun, Tom.
Speaking of coffee cups, I was watching a YouTube video of a woman working with clay, and she had, because I've been studying this YouTube phenomenon, right? And I was amazed at clay. I want to get one of those turnstiles and make my own mugs and ashtrays and things like that.
Didn't you do that? Didn't everybody in 7th grade?
Yeah, you did a little of that.
You brought it home and said, look what I made. Your parents were like, that's great. It really wasn't.
But you can have some fun with that. That is really relaxing.
My mom still has the thing I made in woodshop in 7th grade. I saw it the other day. I was plugging something in behind her organ at home, And it's the
And she
thing
still
where
has
you
it.
have the candle holder thing with your car, and it's still there.
And just to be clear, that has nothing to do with clay. You totally went off topic.
It's crafts. It's things
it's
we
crafty,
built
yes.
as children. And so if anybody has a pottery wheel, Tom,
Yes,
that's what they
that's
call
what
it.
that is,
I
a
knew
pottery
it, but I
wheel.
wasn't going to let them know it. Anybody has a pottery wheel that you want to show
I wanna
Tom how to
practice.
use. I want to watch that, so that'll be fun.
It is a technique. There's definitely a technique, and it takes a while. I did it a little bit in college as
Did you?
well. And I forgot from seventh grade time
Right.
how much you really have to be paying attention.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have enough water or too little water, you're actually you can sand down your
hand.
You have to pay
you have to be really paying attention and then trying to get it.
You have to pay attention?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. Steve will never be able to do that. Yeah.
Tom, tell us who's here.
There goes your Christmas gift. That's Lori Simpson we're talking with right now. She's the Director of Development at Hospice of Central New York and the Finger Lakes, and she's always an upbeat lady. And, tell people where you came from before you got into hospice. What's your professional background?
Sure. I actually have worked in fundraising for a long time at colleges, and that is where I came into play with hospice, doing fundraising for them. I also am a licensed massage therapist, which I kind of did in between transition in life.
Yeah.
I love working with people. I think that there's an energy there that I enjoy. So maybe that's why what you're feeling when I'm being positive, because I think you learn so much from everyone you work with. So maybe that's it. I don't know.
Well, hospice feels like.
Well, it's the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's the end.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. And you know what? I guess my perspective, and a perspective that a lot of our staff work under, is being present in the moment. You have to really, when you're thinking about the end of life and you're dealing with all these different, the end of life decisions and situations, it brings your mortality to you, and
Sure
you
does.
also and you think, how do I want to prepare? How do I want to enjoy life?
Exactly.
Living the quality of life. So I think that just kind of goes hand in hand with that as well. I see it among our staff who will say, I feel like it's an honor,
Really?
to be able to be present with these people during this part of their life.
Well, the
Interesting.
reputation that hospice nurses and the organization has is amazing. You talk to anybody about hospice, they're like, "Oh,
They did a great job.
hospice,
Yeah, they were wonderful.
Here,
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
wonderful. They really
Exactly.
helped. We couldn't have done it without them.
Yes.
You answered questions before we asked them. We didn't know this isn't your first rodeo.
That's right. And that's what it's all about. Because we're focused at end-of-life care, everyone is trained and has the experience to know what we want to share with the families and the patients, to know what to expect, all of those different things. That's what we're there for. So,
How about the people who work there? Are they doctors, nurses, or both? Or
we have physicians. We do have hospice physicians that work with the patient's physician as well. We have registered nurses, LPNs, social workers, and we also have chaplains, because every patient is assigned a care team that works, which includes a nurse, a social worker, that sort of thing. That whole group works together to do the best care they can, holistically, for not just the patient but the family too, because it's with the caregivers to be able to let them know what they need, how they, facilitate conversations, all sorts of things. So it's a very holistic approach to taking care of the patient and the family.
So if someone was interested in being a nurse with hospice, how would they need to differ from a personality standpoint than someone that just would work as a floor nurse at a hospital or a surgical center? Are they the same kind of people, or are they different?
Well, I think there's a variety of personalities that work as nurses and social workers. I think it's a philosophy, in a sense, of what their role is in this process for the families. I think what I've heard from staff, nurses and social workers that I've talked to, what's so meaningful to them is they get a chance to be very involved with the family and the patient. It's, you know, you have to be trusted. You're going into their home or going into a nursing, you know, a facility with them. You're going into their dynamic of their family and the caregiver and all of that stuff, and they feel honored to be able to do that and help facilitate that process and help support people through it. So that's more of a person. I would say that's somewhat of a personality interest. You know, it's and so you are doing physically things that you need to do to help with the process, but it's really a kind of a really connected
and you
situation.
have to kind of change your thinking, because usually as a nurse, you're trying to get somebody better to
Correct.
leave the hospital. Here, they're not leaving. So you have to have kind of a different attitude.
Yeah, you know, I just saw a quote just recently that we were looking at and it was about healing. So yes, usually healthcare workers are going in to help and heal.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and in end of life care, that's still the case in the sense of healing in different ways. There's different ways, not necessarily physically. There's emotional, there's spiritual, there's relationship healing. All of those things is still part of helping with the quality of life. And that's what's important, is even if it is the end of life, the quality of life is very important.
And are you okay if people donate to you?
Well, that's a great question, Steve. I have it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how we're able to keep doing what we do. And we've been in our community for about 38 years. I think it's more than that now. Started as a grassroots, grassroots thing, and now we're covering Onondaga and Oswego, Cayuga, and Madison counties, and we serve about 1,500 people a year.
If someone wanted to give, how do they do that?
They can give us a call at 315-634-1100, or they can go on our website at hospicecny.org. Also, those are great places for interest in learning more about what we do.
Right.
And also, we are always looking for staff, as I know there's a healthcare shortage that's going on, or healthcare worker shortage. We certainly are feeling that will hinder our ability to provide. So we are looking for registered nurses, LPNs, and social workers.
Great.
And so you can go on our career page, and also we do advertising and Indeed. And one thing that I did speak to recently was about the difference in nurse, into the role, and it is more of the value of a work-life balance as a hospice employee.
Gotcha.
It's understood that this type of work does entail, healthcare does entail emotional components and that sort of thing, but the value of work-life balance is a priority for our organization.
Good.
So that's something that we don't want to overlook ever.
All right. Well, we'll send people your way.
Wonderful.
Lori Simpson, you're a ray of sunshine every time. Thank you so much for being here, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you. It's nice to see you both.
All right. Let's look at our feet next with Dr. Joseph Nas. He's the owner of Foot Specialists of CNY, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You're back at it again with Tom and Steve. We are The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR. Of course, we are also on the internet via the YouTube channel now. So we want you to check in with that, like it, and also subscribe to it. You can win, I think, a little less than $1 million we're giving away.
A little less.
For
but
the
put
holidays.
a comment, so we know you did it. Put a comment in the comments, and we've got some Zoe
mugs
coffee
and
mugs.
things.
Yes, we're going to pick a winner. And
Hey, you know what might go good with that? We should have Smith's Restaurant Supply give us some Hyman Smith coffee to give away with the mug.
I like that.
So that might be
Does
a
that mean,
good
do we
idea.
get it, or do they just get it?
They just get it, but
need
we've
some-
already got some.
Yeah, their coffee is
Is outstanding.
yummy. It's really yummy.
I want to know how he did on his sale. He had that big coffee sale.
Yeah.
Have to check back in with him. Right now, we're going to talk about feet, defeat. Dr. Joseph Naz is with us. He's the owner of Foot Specialists of CNY. Dr. Naz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today? It's good to see you.
You sound like a science fiction character, Dr. Naz. Did anybody ever tell you that?
No. First.
I have a unique perspective.
Like
Yeah, Tom.
I feel like a superhero now.
He is a superhero on the golf course.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yeah. So how long have you been a podiatrist?
I finished my residency in 1998.
Oh, gosh. So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Are you like one of the preeminent foot doctors in Syracuse?
Preeminent.
Just say no.
No one can defeat you.
Yeah. No.
Oh, Tom, come on. People just flip the radios off all over town.
Yeah, this is bad programming.
Gosh, the agony of defeat, Tom. Stop it.
Where did you go to school to be a podiatrist?
I went to the Ohio College of Podiatric Medicine.
Okay.
Which is now part of Kent State. So
really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your practice. Is it just you, or do you have other people, support people?
No, I've got a partner, a co-owner, Dr. Jerry Saponara. He's been there since 1984, so he's been there for a while. We've got our office on North Burdick Street in East Syracuse, and
yeah.
We see feet all day long.
I think I'm going to have to come and see you. You know, it's funny. Never had a foot problem when I was a young man. Of course, I never had problems when I was a young man.
Just to make a point, that was a long time ago.
That was many years. But now, you know, I'm 58 years old. I know I look 28. But, you know, the feet are a funny thing. It's almost like they are planned obsolescence. They start to go on you, don't they, after a certain age? I'm getting pains.
Everything wears out with time, my friend.
Oh, golly. Well, would people come to see a podiatrist if they have cramps in the feet, maybe feeling full? Like sometimes I feel like I'm walking on sandbags. I don't know whether it's my heart. I always tell my wife, oh, my heart's not working right because I feel like I got, sand in my shoe, and I don't. It's fine, and I don't swell, but it feels it,
That's not an uncommon complaint. Sometimes that can be related to neuropathy when people will present to the office with those kind of complaints. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's other things. But that's not an uncommon thing that we hear.
What's neuropathy?
Neuropathy.
Whoa, I didn't even say that. Exactly what
neuropathy.
That's loss of sensation.
Yeah,
and that's
basically
common.
That's fairly common.
How does someone get the sensation back?
Well, we don't really have any cures for it. Now, if there's some sort of disease process, which is
related to diabetes or something,
right? Like it's related to diabetes. A lot of times you get the diabetes under control, and you will get some improvement. In the neuropathy. Does it go back to baseline? Not really. And the problem with neuropathy is, about half the time, there's no real identifiable cause as to what's driving it. A lot of it's genetics, which is, the lottery of life.
Can your dad feel his feet, Tom?
Yes, he's fine. Of course, he's the one who told me when I started to experience swelling, because I sit a lot, because Steve makes me work all the time, and I have to sit behind a computer. Oh, it's
yeah, it's so tough.
So I'm editing, and I'm concentrating, and I'll sit for long periods of time. And then since I've gotten older, I've noticed that then my calves will swell, or my ankles will swell, and the feet will swell, things like that. So my father said, you got to get your compression socks. Get them Tommy Coppers, man. So I've been wearing the compression socks, and wow, what a difference.
It does make a huge difference, especially when, unfortunately, the veins don't have muscles in them like the arteries. They have one-way valves. And those one-way valves count on contractions of the other muscles in the area to move the blood along.
Gotcha.
So if you're sitting in the same position for a long period of time, you're not really getting any muscle activity in the area to move the blood. So
get up and move, Tom.
Well, I mean, Steve's used to that because he's been sedentary all his life.
Don't sit still 2 seconds. So when people come into Foot Specialists, Central New York, what's the most common thing that you see?
Probably the biggest thing that we see anymore is diabetic patients because of the gigantic epidemic of diabetes that's occurred, in our population due to, change in diet, sedentary activities.
Yeah.
So other than changing diet, what can you do for their feet? If their feet, how does that relate?
Typically at that point in time, usually when they're coming to see us, it's more of like a maintenance type of basis.
Gotcha.
And there's some diabetics who are high risk that, they shouldn't be taking care of their toenails. They shouldn't be taking care of their calluses because they can get themselves into trouble, which can lead to an amputation.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. Do you still see corns? A lot of people with corns, or what's that other thing?
Bunions?
Bunions, yes. Corns and bunions. Yeah.
Absolutely. We see those all the time.
They both sound like food.
Well, I'm going to come to see you, and I'll tell you why. Another thing that happens when I'm sitting, I'll take and put my foot, like a lot of times, like behind me, and curl my toes. You know what I mean? Like put pressure on my toes. When I do that, sometimes they hurt so badly. My 3 toes to the right, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what's going on.
Don't do that, Tom.
Well, now one person that I saw said I have arthritis in my big toe. How do you find that people? Do you take X-rays? And
typically we'll take X-rays.
Yeah, and you'll be able to tell me though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then what do you do for people who might start to get arthritis in their feet?
It depends on where it's at, what we do for it, but a lot of times in like the big toe joint, if that's where your arthritis is at, a lot of times we will make you like a custom insert for your shoe.
Okay.
And it alters the mechanics and the way you load the big toe joint. And as a result, we take pressure off of it and make it more functional.
That's about all you can do?
It works better and it feels better. Yeah. So, there's always surgery to fix those things, but that's always the option of last resort.
Gotcha.
What's your favorite thing? As a foot doc, what's your favorite? What's your favorite thing? What do you enjoy the most?
The best thing about my job, and I never realized it until one of the nephrologists, when we used to be over at the Joslin Center, and they put us up in the specialty clinic before they expanded. We were there for a couple of months, and one of the nephrologists came up to me and he said, he's like, you've got a pretty good job. He's like, you've been here for months. He's like, and I hear person after person come out of that room saying how much better they feel.
That's nice. Yeah.
No one after my appointments comes out and says, hey, thanks, I feel a lot better. Right. He's like, I may be helping them. He's like, but they don't come out and say that to me. He's like, that's pretty cool. I'm like, you know what? It is. And I never really thought about it.
You haven't had Tom as a patient yet.
Right. Well, I got important questions. Now, I went on Amazon.
About him, just to be clear. Go ahead.
I went on Amazon and bought a foot massager, okay? And it rolls and it twists and it compresses. How good are foot massager? Is it good to massage your feet?
Massage is very therapeutic. It's going to break up scar tissue. It's going to increase the blood flow to the area. So, yeah, absolutely.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's nice enough.
Yeah. You crack me.
What do you want?
You just crack me up. That's all. I
have interesting questions about feet.
You do. You're
all right.
If it makes you happy, go for it.
Yeah. So, Dr. Joe Nass, owner of Foot Specialists, Central New York, is this phone number if someone wants to get their feet fixed, 656-2216. Is that a good number?
That is correct.
So 656, Tom, write this down.
Yes, I have it right in front of me.
656-2216.
Yes.
Dr. Joe Nass, and you can get your feet feeling happy.
Excellent. Feet. I'll be calling the office, and don't pretend you don't know me when I come in, all right?
Oh, I probably will. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Have a great rest of the day. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Jeff Steigerwald. He's the owner of Lee's and Steigerwald. Keep it here on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks. You found The Local Show with Tom and Steve, both from Zoe Advertising, where we're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising studios. And if you ever wanted to know what it looks like, you can go on the YouTube channel, which is at Zoe Advertising. Just look it up on YouTube, and you will find all of our content. We have Brad back there who's chopping up the segments and making them look pretty for you.
He's having some fun with them, too, Tom.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that anybody has fun. You like to say that people have fun. It's work.
The difference between you and me, Tom, is I enjoy life.
That's right, and I don't.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I was raised in a family where misery loves company, and there was a lot of misery. So
you continued you've passed down the tradition. Yes,
that's right. And so I do smile, and self-deprecating humor is always fun. Here's a guy who has been in business a long time. Speaking of family, right? You've been around family for a long time. It's Jeff Steigerwald, owner of Lee's in Steigerwald. How are you there, Jeff?
Doing great, guys. How are you guys?
It's good to have you back for a little while. You were like a little bit away from us for a while, which is understandable because of Steve. I get that.
You can only take so much.
But he's been busy.
He enjoys working. And so do I. Unlike you, he's out there. They got the food truck. They got things going. Quite a spring summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a hectic, crazy summer. Food truck was going every which way. The butcher shop was cranking all summer. So just not a lot of time for extra stuff. But this was it's been a really good year so far.
So where did you have the food truck throughout the summer?
So on a regular basis, we were out to Heritage Hill every week on Tuesdays. We went out to Prison City Brewery. We've been to some corporate events. We were at CNS Engineers. We went out to Raymore Flanagan, Amazon.
So you have people who will call you, like companies will call you to bring the truck over.
Correct. Right. Yeah, we went up to Oswego for Novellis. We were up there for a couple of days with them. It's just
that's right around the corner from Bayshore.
Okay.
The few wedding receptions I had at Bayshore, I saw the big Novellas. I didn't realize how huge that is. That place,
it's ginormous.
Great
company.
Big place. Great company. Great for the area. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
You been up to Clinton's Ditch Pepsi place lately?
No, I haven't been up there this year, and that's unfortunate. But that's another good option for us too.
Yeah, sure. So tell people where you're located if some people may not know.
How do they not know?
Well, they could be younger.
Okay,
and,
maybe
we know. Where are you located?
We're over on Grant Boulevard, 1857 Grant Boulevard, just off of Teal Ave. It's right near Butternut.
Did you do some construction over there recently?
The whole summer was
I didn't know that.
Was torn up the whole summer.
Now, you've been there for what, 115, 120 years?
Yeah, minus about 20, but about 90. So, we've been there a long time.
It's been a while, yeah. So, what can people find when they walk into your place?
You're going to find a place that's similar to what we were 90 years ago. It's going to be an old-fashioned butcher shop. You're going to get treated with respect, great customer service, and you're going to see a wide variety of homemade sausages, our homemade hot dogs, fresh meats. We carry a lot of local beef, local pork out of Seneca Falls. These are things that, you come in, you see something you like in the case, you pick it right out. If you don't see something you like, we'll cut it for you.
So it's kind of like Little House on the Prairie where they wrap it in a brown thing,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good old fresh butcher paper wrapped around your fresh cut of meat, no problem.
Yeah, I tend to do the Saturday morning shift over there. And Jeff, you see me.
Seen you there several times.
Yeah, so Saturday, unlike you, Tom, I work on Saturday morning. And we'll mop things up, do a lot of things at Zoe, and then by midday, I'll swing over and to Steigerwald's and get excited about, okay, what are we having tonight? We typically go to our friends the Wades on Saturday night, and we'll get some brats or some. Now this time I did the burgers. You had the 8515,
okay, good.
Which was my favorite.
There you go.
So we did some burgers and we did some. Hey, wait a minute, Utica greens.
Well,
they were delicious.
See, we gotta expand. We gotta
step
out a little bit.
We picked up. When did you start doing that? How have I missed that?
Well, they've been on our catering menu, so you can always order them ahead. But sometimes if we make them for a catering order, we'll do some extras, throw them in the case. You can always find something prepared in there. And
talk to us a little more about your catering, because holiday season is coming up, and some people may get back to. I know that I've booked 3 or 4 company parties, which were like non-existent for a while here.
Right.
And
what do you cater? What do you bring? Do you have people serve it, or do you just bring the food?
We can do any of the above. Primarily, we're getting people that want us to drop it off. We'll do everything from set up the sternos and get the buffet line rolling. But and we can do full service, but mostly it's just drop off and let it go from there.
Okay. What kind of menu items can people get for catering?
You can see our full menu on our website, but we do everything from, you can do brats and kraut. We do chicken riggies. We make homemade. All the stuff on our menu is homemade.
Excellent.
We can do a sauerbraten dinner, which was been pretty popular over the last month or so.
Wonderful.
But so catering's been great. Glad to see people are getting back together, partying and interacting with each other again.
Yeah, and you can even do that for a family party. And I find that sometimes more convenient that you don't have to cook. My grandmother and mother used to start 3 days before a holiday, and once again, everybody miserable. Yeah. The food was great, but it took all that time. Nowadays, why not get good fresh stuff and then spend more time with family? That's LeesandSteigerwald.com, by the way, if you want to check out the website.
Yeah, so good stuff. So talk to us about cornhole up at Heritage Hill again. I want to hear some more about that. So there's a contest, you get in, or because I know someone that's pretty good at that. That would be me, Tom.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Steve is good at trivial games.
Those seem to be the most fun sometimes, though. You don't have to think too much. And if you're drinking beer...
I resemble that remark.
Yes, that's right.
Tom will pile on there.
Hey, you're having a couple beers at Heritage Hill, anybody can throw a beanbag down the way. So it's a great time. It's a lot of fun. We've been working with Dan out there at Heritage Hill on a bunch of different things. We've had our food truck up there a bunch. And we thought, hey, let's keep it rolling through the.
So what nights is that?
It's Wednesday nights. It's at Heritage Hill. It starts at 6 p.m. It's just you don't have to be signed up every week. You can come and go as you please. Just sign up ahead 1 week.
Do you bring a team, or is it?
You want to bring a team, two people.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then if up in the main house, in the main brew house, we also have a pitch tournament going on. So if you're into playing some cards and you don't want to play cornhole, but you can come up, Lees and Steigerwald, we bring our buffet out there.
Nice.
It's $25. You get to play, you get gifts. We have gifts at the end for the winners and a full buffet. So
can you do both? Probably not. Huh?
Well,
I like
it's
both.
actually funny. Last week we had somebody came in and played cornhole. They weren't in the finals, so they ran up to the brew house and they jumped in on the pitch for a little bit. So it worked out. It was fun.
Nice.
Everybody has a good time. So.
Has the wave of health-conscious consumers affected your business in any way, shape, or form? People have just extreme, no gluten, no fat, no nothing.
I guess we've seen that trend has kind of been going on.
Yeah.
We've always, our sausages are always gluten-free. We don't put any fillers or any of that stuff in there. So that's never really been an issue for us.
Good.
And fat content, we can always work with people. We do a very lean ground round. If you're looking for like a leaner burger, we have that all the time. So we have the capabilities of accommodating people's special.
And I guess
requests.
that would be the big difference between you and the grocery store or the big box store is that you can customize the cuts of meat and get exactly what you want over at Steigerwald.
Yeah, we sure can. Yep.
So what's going to be hot right now? Thanksgiving and then Christmas holiday seasons.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, as everybody knows. Turkeys are the buzzword right now, but we actually had to put our turkey. We had to reserve our turkeys pretty early this year, so we took a stab in the dark how many we'd need. We are running pretty low on them. I think we have maybe 10 or 15 unaccounted for. So
these are fresh.
These are fresh turkeys. You want one, give us a call and reserve one, but they're going to be gone soon.
Yeah.
But for Christmas, you need a beef roast, you need a prime rib, any of those things. Yep.
So they can call 474-2171 if they want to order something, 474-2171 and say, hey, get me that there turkey.
Perfect.
And go online, LeesandSteigerwald.com. That's Lieh. Okay, and then the word and Steigerwald is STEI, just so you know. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much, Jeff. Great to see you again.
Good to see you
Don't
guys.
be a stranger.
Will not. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Coming up next, we're going to talk more food with Dan Giamartino. He's the co-owner of Tully's Restaurant, Copper Top, and, of course, Good Buddies Pub. All next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. You found the local show. Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising, thank you for carving out that time on the weekend to spend with us. We do appreciate it. And we do appreciate all the people who have liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel. We're giving away a mug a week for a little bit.
Did they carve the time out, Tom, or were they like, they turn the radio and it's those guys again? What do you think? Are they really
at this
carving
point,
out like a turkey? They're carving out the time. You really think they're carving it out?
At this point, they are. They come to hear me. I gotta be honest. I've heard that over and over again.
Well, on YouTube, they come to see me. I don't look as tall when I'm sitting down. But
yes.
We
ought to do that. We ought to do a Mutt and Jeff thing for the YouTube channel specifically, where we stand up and measure. We'll get a guest and we'll see what the contour looks like.
I was always the kid, okay, you. School picture in back, in back, and that was from the tall guys in back, and I was from birth.
I get you. All right, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust has been a supporter of the channel for a long time. So why don't you tell some good things about them?
I can't think of anything bad. I know every week they get calls, and people help. They help people protect their home and life savings.
Yes.
And what people sometimes don't realize is if they don't make a plan, the government has a plan.
Right.
Government plan sucks.
Because you could lose all your money.
Well, if you don't make a plan, quite frankly, and go to long-term care, you're in deep doo-doo.
Right. Nobody gets it.
No, nobody gets it. So some proper planning with some people that know how to do it. Not only that, they teach other attorneys how to do it. Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing. But John and Marie and the team over there, Safe Harbor, reach out to them. Just start a conversation. 370-9977. 370-9977, safeharborwillsandtrust.com. Go to the website and just start a conversation, and you'll be glad you did.
Yes. You know how parents will say, I don't have a favorite. When you have more than one kid.
My mom is a favorite.
It's always been your sister.
Clearly. No, it's totally me. No, that's why everybody knows it's me.
You're not supposed to have favorites as a parent.
Well, that's an Italian thing.
And as a talk show host, you're not supposed to like one guest more than the other. But I really, really like Dan Giamartino.
I know you do. Between him and George Powers, what is it?
I know. It's kind of a split decision.
Yeah, I was going to say, he likes George.
Dan wins out.
I have to bring some food.
Dan will always win out because he deals with food. Dan is the co-owner of Tully's Restaurant, the Copper Top Tavern, Good Buddies Pub, and a host of other little things that I'm probably leaving out. With his family, he's not the only one who does it, but he's definitely one of my favorites. How are you, Dan?
I'm terrific. How are you? It's great to see both of you today.
Great Mostly to see you. Yeah. So, Dan, tell people, how long has your family been involved with the restaurant business and you as well?
Well, my father and my uncle, they've been in the business for almost 50 years.
Wow.
Actually, more than 50 years now that I think of their ages. And I'm 41, so I've been in the business since I was 15, 16 years old, working, in the prep room and then waiting tables and bussing tables throughout college.
Jeez.
So now I'm in charge of the back office.
Yeah. And you also do a lot with catering, too. Tell us a little bit about catering.
My favorite part of the job. So we do a lot of catering through Copper Top Tavern. We have a company called Copper Top Catering, and we have an event house which is in Camillus, right next to our Copper Top in Camillus, where it seats about 100 people, and we do a lot of parties in-house, birthday parties, holiday parties. We're booking a lot of holiday parties right now, and we do a lot of off-site caterings as well. So we'll do weddings of all size and, 50 people to 350 people. We've done parties for 2,000 people, picnics, graduations, bar mitzvahs, christenings, baptisms, you name it. We do it all. Drop off, full service, bar packages. Nice. Honestly, Tom, we really, the whole gamut.
And it is wonderful food, Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say,
gosh.
So you do it, and a lot of places say, hey, we do catering.
Right.
I think Taco Bell does catering. Okay. No offense to anybody that's a fan. But so what's so stinking special about the way you do it?
Yeah, well, we cook a lot of the food when we do full service weddings. We cook all the food on site. So we bring our own equipment, almost like a mobile kitchen, and we literally cook all the food: ovens, ranges, grills, holding cabinets, hot heat lamps, and we cook everything on site. All of our products at our restaurants, believe it or not, a lot of them are made from scratch. Our sauces, our dressings, or you name it. We buy imported Italian pasta. Even at Tully's, we buy imported Italian pasta. Ironically enough, from my grandmother's hometown. But
that's great.
So we really buy the best ingredients that we can, and I think it really, that little difference, it really plays out when you can really taste the difference in the freshness of the product. And we have a dedicated, listen, the people I work with, I'm so lucky that I work with the best people ever. And we have a dedicated crew of people that work all of our events, and they're seasoned. We've been doing it a number of years, and it's just a great team. Honestly, all of the employees at all of our restaurants, it's like family. It's just a great team of people that we're so lucky that during this time when there's a shortage of employees, that the ones we have, we're just so grateful for them, and they do such a phenomenal job.
They are friendly.
That's
when you go,
you
go in and we pick up pizza takeout over at the Camillus location, and sure, like, hi, you're here. Even when it's busy, they're not like, hey, kid, you're bothering me.
Yeah, they're not trying to rush you out the door.
They look in the eyes. I don't know if you teach that or how you got that, because a lot of younger folks don't, and they do, and it's a good experience. So you still can do holiday parties, Christmas parties?
Yep, we still have some dates available for the holiday parties, and events at coppertoptavern.com. Events at coppertoptavern.com is our email address. And yeah, we'll reach out, and we can definitely make time for you.
How about weddings? You're not all booked up for weddings, are you?
Not for next year.
Okay.
We definitely have some booked for next year. We have some booked for 2024.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely have plenty of availability.
Yeah.
Yep.
So make note of that, folks. I actually booked a job the other day. I'm not going to say who they are, but they listen to the local show, and I thought it was a joke because I thought you might have put somebody up to it,
and I might have. How do you know I still didn't?
Well, I had to actually email the person back. I said, "Did Steve put you up to this?" Or my buddy Sammy, did he put you up to this?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So there are people listening that may want to get on the docket for next year, because I believe that Tully's will own that catering space.
Well, I just like the restaurant.
Or Copper
the
Top,
restaurant.
I should say.
I mean, and I prefer Copper Top over Tully's.
Yes, I love Copper Top.
I don't know why. It's the pizza, just everything.
I can tell you why.
I don't. Why?
I will tell you why. It is the egg rolls. What are they? Avocado
egg rolls.
Egg rolls.
Oh, they're so good.
That's why everybody should go get those.
What's funny is Tully's, we're known for our tenders. A lot of people come to for our tenders, and Copper Top has a much different tender. People love it's the number one selling item at Copper Top. Good Buddy's Pub, we have a chicken tender that's we bread it with pretzels.
Oh my God!
Excuse me, not pretzel. Potato chips.
Okay,
potato chips.
Either way,
and fry them.
Did you bring those in?
And they're the number one seller there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Those avocado rolls. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness! I had Kung Pao chicken.
Oh yeah, it's got some heat to it.
and Copper Top, like you're thinking, how does it? And it was amazing. It had some heat to it.
It does have a little bite.
Let's ask the important question, and I know that you're a humble guy, but let people know, how did you weather the pandemic, where some people went the opposite way in the restaurant business, but you guys seem to excel and grow?
Yep. We're actually opening a new Tully's. I guess we're still in the pandemic. Maybe we're out of it. But we're opening a new Tully's in a couple of weeks, November 15th in Town Center in Fayetteville. But to answer your question, we were able to open that store and weather the pandemic because of our people, truthfully. And, I don't even like to think of them as employees. They're our family. It's just we have a big extended family. I'm Italian. We have a big family.
That's great.
And may have 1,000 people in it, but it's because of them.
And people watching this on YouTube can see your expression. You're smiling.
It's genuine.
It's the truth.
It's genuine.
Yeah,
this isn't
genuine.
like, well, tell them we're like family. And then no, it's genuine.
It really is the truth.
All right. Dan, unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we have to say goodbye to you now. But you have a great rest of the day, and please come back again, okay?
Thanks. Great to see both of you.
Yes, you too. All right, Steve, that's going to wrap up the local show. On behalf of Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Get some physical activity today and every day. Eat well and focus on healthy living. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. We find it's more fun that way. Get down to business. Keep doing business locally and tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube. Look up Zoe Advertising. That's all I'm saying. I'll figure it out.
It just ended differently.
Yes, yeah, I know.
I like different. Different's good.